box has arrived. So super excited. These are the 2 fleeces that I purchased from Jen Johnson of Whispering Pine Farms. So without further ado, let's see what we've got. Cannot wait. I was like try to be so careful because I know that's packed really tight and I don't want to cut anything. I'm also probably going to have to voice over some of this audio, particularly later. It's only about 95 so far. It's maybe 10:30 or 11. I think we're calling for another 100 plus day, which I know all my South Carolinian, Florida, and warmer climate viewers are laughing at me, but the humidity is like 65%, so it actually is quite stifling even in here. So anyway, I'm gonna have to turn the fan back on that sits over there so I can stand out here. But we'll just get started and yeah, go from there. Just thought it would be fun to record a little bit of this as we go forward. And after I get them spread out, I will, I'm going to do one at a time. After we get them spread out, I will do a little bit more closer video as well for overview. So here we've got the 2 fleeces. So this one is a gray Shetland. It is Blackburn, and I will put a close-up of, so Jen puts this really nice little fact sheet in here. This is Blackburn's lamb fleece. He's got some spots, so I'm super excited about having a little bit of variation in there. The spinning fineness on this is 23.5, and the fleece weighs 28.2 ounces. Staple length is clocked at 3 inches, and this fleece was a rude fleece. These are both U fleeces, by the way. So there's Blackburn, and over here we have Lathe. So Miss Lathe here, oh my gosh, like, so Jen did a really nice thing. If you haven't followed her, I want to encourage you to go check out her channel, as I said. But also, before the auction, she skirted and videoed all the fleeces that were up for auction. So, which is was just super helpful to like see them laid out, and you know, kind of, she did that maybe I don't know, maybe a month or so before, on and off. So you could kind of go in and figure out. I have 2 black fleeces and a Mohair fleece and a fawn fleece. So I thought I really wanted gray. And talking to my husband, he's like, you know, he said, you really should get some white. It'll go, you know. So I'm like, yeah, it'll go better with everything. I have visions of really working through all this fiber this year and just having some really interesting varieties of Shetland to put into a hap shawl and a colorwork sweater and, you know, whatever else the crosses my fancy at the time. So I went for the white. I actually originally bid on another white fleece that was the daughter of the fawn fleece that I put up on my Instagram not too long ago, and was not successful in that one. I mean, I just opted not to. I bid it up once, and then I'm like, okay, there's a lot of fleeces here, and it was a really big fleece, so I was like, oh, I don't know if I need 30 ounces of fleece anyway. So this is Lathe. Lathe has a spinning fineness of 21.6, and this fleece weight is 21.3 ounces, and the staple length is about 4 inches. So I'll lay them out. I think I will move the camera up so you can see a little more visual here as I lay them out, and less of me and my gardening sweatiness. And also Leighton is rude also. So besides that, got a really nice little note from Jen here, and you know, confirmation of the purchase. And then I will pop a close-up of this. So this is her website. That's Jen and her block in the background there, and her website. So there's a QR code. You probably, if I'm really still, maybe you can grab that. This is Leighton. I'll put that a close up there. And Blackburn. So really nice amount of information for the fleeces. Right, so here we have Blackburn's fleece, and it is in 2 pieces because it is a rude fleece. So ruing is, maybe I'll find a more technical definition, but the early sheep breeds did not need to be sheared because their wool would naturally, I think, get a break in it, and they would lose it. So I was actually just reading, I think it's called The Brief History of the World According to Sheep. And in it, the author has talked, there's a lot of fascinating things in there, but talks about, you know, some of the ancient breeds of sheep, and, you know, that they would lose their wool because obviously they didn't have man intervening. And over time we bred them to, you know, for a lot of reasons. And some of them now need to be sheared, but some, like some of the Shetlands and a few other varieties, will still often be able to rue. So Jen talked about on her most recent video that how many, you know, she actually rued quite a number of them this year, which I think is really nice because I mean, sheared quality can be really excellent also, of course, but you just eliminate that potential to have any, you know, shortcuts or anything from the shearing, but it is pretty labor intensive, and I think, oh my gosh, you guys, can you see? I'm gonna have to move the camera to get some, I use my phone to get some close-up pictures, and I'll put some B-roll in here. It is just, I'm gonna have to go get Mr. Lathe and Loom. This is just beautiful. I've got some really phenomenal variation in color. From down here, we've got this really dark, beautiful dark gray, kind of medium gray, and then this lighter gray here. And I don't know, maybe I could look at the photo and see if I could tell which end is which. So the neck, she does skirt off, so here's the external side. And you can see, I mean, it's got some tips, but, you know, because they're lamb fleece, I mean, I'll have to open them up, but they're quite strong, so not having anything to pull off there. Oh my gosh, it's just, and literally, I don't see anything that I need to remove for it. So, my gosh, okay, so I want to be careful and keep the clean side together. Let's look at its other side, which I'm sure is equally beautiful. And yes, it is. So again, here's the match. Obviously it's got its little dark pieces. Medium. Down here it's got this medium gray. So just beautiful. All right, so what I'm gonna do, and again, nothing, like it's so well skirted that I don't need to do anything. Oh, I don't think I finished talking about ruin. I got so distracted. Anyway, so Jen is actually, you know, pulling the wool off where the break in it is. It's not harmful to the sheep. You know, they need to have the wool removed. She's very cautious about, you know, the ones who are not comfortable in the stand for a long time. She does it in 2 steps. I mean, I just really enjoyed watching and learning and, you know, living, vicariously living my internal shepherdess there. So, all right, so I'm going to put this into 2 pieces so that I can wash it in 4 mesh bags. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to want to keep it interior together. Still going to be big in the bag. I wonder if I should do it more than 2. I think it'll work in 2. I'm going to try it. My last batch, I did think does still have a fair amount of lanolin. I actually don't love taking all the lanolin out, so I think I'm okay with that. And this is honestly so clean. I mean, she coats them before they come in on into the barn on hay. So when they're in the pasture, you know, early, they're not coated, but then, you know, she's skirted that off. And I mean, these are just, I mean, you know, there's obviously a little bit, they're living their sheepy good lives out there, but it's just normal, you know, like you would expect an animal that lives outside to have. It's not, there's nothing awful. This is a really big fleece. How big is this fleece again? Oh my gosh. Of course it looks bigger because it's been rude, so what you would, maybe a sheared fleece, this would be a little more compacted in here. So, all right, so I'm gonna do that. And then I'm going to put these in a few mesh bags, and I will come back after, actually I'll take some photos. I'm going to come back after I get Layton laid out, so you don't need to see me put that in those bags. All right, so I just have these mesh bags that I use to store fleece, but it worked really well the last time I washed them. I had half in each, and this time I'm just going to try to sort of loosely put a quarter each in, and kind of try to do that to preserve the lock structure. I think I mentioned this on my Instagram post. For the last batch I did, I have been not using that. I've been just washing stuff in a small washing tub. And in the sink in the laundry room, and it just takes so long. If you can, I mean, you couldn't get, you know, a 1/16 of this really in there. And it doesn't really mess with the structure too badly, but it's just really, really time consuming. And I was watching Wool and Spinning, and Rachel Smith was showing how she was washing a fleece, and she was doing it in 5-gallon buckets in the bathtub. I just thought, this is brilliant. You have hot water, your soap's right there, you're not outside in the wind blowing, and so I did that, and I'm never looking back. It cut my fleece washing down to about 2 hours for the last fleece. This one, obviously there's a couple of these. I'll do one today and one tomorrow, but just trying to get these in here as loosely as I can without disrupting their structure. And I found it preserved it really, really well on the last fleece, which is Brienne of Tarth. That's the name of the one I could not remember. So I'm going to finish this up and then we will look at Leighton. There's Miss Leighton. Half one. Half two. Whoa. I love these racks, by the way. You can see they have little feet on them. My husband did, and they also will stack on top of each other. So when I get it laid out later after I wash it and run it through the spin dryer, I can stack them up over there on Mr. Lathe and Loom's workbench. That becomes the wool processing. So here's the outside of the fleece, and oh my goodness, not that we expected to be disappointed, but we are not. Oh my goodness, this is gorgeous. So I mean, look how beautiful and fluffy. I mean, it's just silky soft. They both were. I didn't comment on that on Blackburn, but just beautiful, just beautiful. So yeah, it's, I mean, it's a little, there's a little bit, maybe a little bit dirtier on this little. No, not really. That was the outside. So it's all just, again, there's just nothing that I feel like I need to take off. So same thing, I'm gonna take each half in half. I'll try to do it where there's already a little bit of separation, because I do want to keep these locks together as much as I can, but gotta be a little bit practical too, right? There we go. That's not too bad. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's getting so sticky out here, y'all. Okay, and I want to fold clean side in, both halves. I did this the other direction on the last book batch. There's the other side. So, I mean, need a little wash in there, but hey, again, that's what you expect from a happy pasture-raised sheep, right? Just, yeah, there's just none. A small amount there, but I think it'll be fine if it doesn't come off all in the wash. This is quite dirty there. If it doesn't come all the way off, maybe I'll look at them, but I really don't want to lose any of this beautiful fleece that Miss Leighton has worked so hard to grow for us. Here she is, all laid out. Magnificence. Structure there. It's beautiful. I am going to, I'm planning to spin these all from the lock. So I've been practicing on the Brienne of Tarth. going to go for the first just cold soak. And got this little jar under here to let the faucet be where I need it to be to fill. I'm going to go ahead and put all 4 of them in for the cold soak, and then I think I will probably only do, let me just do 2 at a time on this too. Give it extra. Seems I'm just trying to be thoughtful about the water usage, you know. We'll let that soak while I have my second cup of coffee. Get out to the garden early today, so just a quick view of the first cold soak water. Just got them laying up there on that laundry basket here to keep them out when I dump the water, not wanting to get any hot or cold to do any felting. So yeah, I mean, as expected. I mean, it's clear, but it's dirty. I mean, it's not like got debris or anything in it. So let me do one more cold soak on each, and then we'll start the hot wash. All right, this is actually the second fiber batch. You can see I've got it. I've taken it out of the 2 cold soaks. I've done one completely, but this is 2 cold soaks just to get most of the dirt out. The second batch of water wasn't all that, I mean, it was brown, but not all that dirty. I did on the prior half, I did 3, I don't remember, 3 or 4. I think I did 3 with hot with soap, 2 cold, 3 hot with soap, and then 1 hot, just to rinse it, although it does not need to really be rinsed. So I just fill up this tub. I'm finishing up this brand of wool wash. I really do like their little pour thing. You just loosen it and it self measures. It has a nice smell. I prefer this one. I just go back and forth trying to see if one did a better job than the other. This one I just prefer, but they both have. I prefer the tea tree scent. They both have lanolin, and the Outback Gold also has aloe. So it's just really very nice, both for the wool and when it's finished to work with. It just smells really good. So I've just been sort of shifting around which one's the fleece on the bottom. Obviously, now only going into hot water. No, I've never had a problem cold going into hot. You just can't put hot into cold. And I just, you can see there's quite a bit. I'm trying to change up what was on the bottom, what was on the top. It's floating pretty high up from the bottom, so you don't really want to agitate it or anything. I'm just sort of getting the air loosely out. And that's just tap hot. Our hot water, our water heater is turned up as high as it will go. So I don't have any issue, and we don't have small children or anything in the house, so that's okay for us. And we're going to give that 20 minutes and then we'll be back. This is the second soap and hot water wash. Let's pick up, scoop it out. Put that there so I don't have any cooler water going on it. It's pretty darn clean. I actually may just do the, I'm going to do, I think, the third one. So then to get the next round ready, I just got a little guy here that I have to tip the thing so that it goes in the faucet and fill that up, put the soap in, and do that again. So when I get all done, last step will be to put it in the spin dryer, and it's a terrible angle. Last step will be to put it in the spin dryer, and then I'll get it out on the rack, and I'll take a snap of that when we do that. Okay, so I have let the fleeces cool off a little bit. So they're mainly cool to the touch, and I'm going to pop them down in here. This is my Ninja spin dryer. If you do a lot of knitting and or fleece processing, yarn spinning, this is a life and time saver. Definitely facilitates the process. So I'm just going to pop that up on the counter over the sink, and then we'll turn her on. Just turn it on. Just to balance itself. So sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's wonky. Yeah, it's going to be nice. And so that's even after it's drained. And, well, I mean, definitely wasn't dripping water, but definitely you can see how much out, and it always amazes me with a sweat or anything. I will say so the batch that I took out prior to this one is almost dry. And it's maybe taking me 2 hours to process this one. So of course it's warm in the garage, but still definitely really helps with the drying process. Okay, so I've got the spun fleece here, and I'm just going to unfold it. Back here I've got the other the other half, really, the other two bags that I did. So it is pretty dry, I will say. So I'm gonna take each one out of its bag, and had pretty good luck last time getting it sort of opened back up in its piece. So hopefully that will do the same now that it's on camera. We'll let them hang out tonight and dry. Actually, I'm probably going to move this one to another workbench, but we'll see you in the morning. And we've got the second soak of Layton's white fleece there. So we'll get that out of the hopper. Been doing 20 minutes. This is hot. We actually turned the water heater down, so this will be interesting. I've changed two things on this batch since I did Blackburn. I got some Unicorn Power Scour to see if it made a difference in the amount of the lanolin that was left, and if that mattered when I spun it. I don't know that it will. We've turned on the hot water heater, so I think it was on like 140. This is 125, which is anywhere in that range is fine for melting the lanolin, which, as I was doing my research last week, and I'll link the book below, the title is escaping me at the moment, the lanolin is not a grease, but rather a wax. So obviously the temperature matters, and like using a degreaser, so you know there's quite a bit of differing opinions, let's say, on using, you know, blue dishwashing liquid or using laundry detergent or etc. So obviously use what you like and what fits your budget and what gets you good results, I think. I've always stayed with, like I said, I really like that Outback Gold, but I did notice that while they have not, the little sample that I did of the fawn fleece did not seem problematic for spinning. It definitely is there. I think this looks really clean just looking through it, so I really think that I'm going to let these be. I think I'm just going to do these two scours. I'm looking at my head. I think I'm just going to do these two scours and get ready to put it in the spin dryer, and then we'll put it out on the drying rack. So we'll see you then. Spinning the first batch of, I put 2 bundles in. And looks like that one's about ready. Always amazes me how much water still comes out even when things seem dry, but like now it's really seems very no drips. So it's the first 2 bundles. I'll do that to the second 2, and then we'll lay it out. Right, so we've got Layton. We've got Layton's fleece laid out here, and looking really nice. I'll have to see when it's dry. The Power Scour may have done a better job. Got a few sections up here that I pulled out that had a little more VM than maybe I want to process, but I'll probably just put it in the bag and hang on to it. This is obviously the inside. I'll have to flick the tips just to get that rest of that little bit out, and then when I do the washing after I spin it, that will come out, of course, no problem. But it's beautiful and white and fluffy, but I mean overall looks really clean. That was two hot scour, two cold scours, two hot scours. And then here's the other portion down here. I didn't want to get any of this that might, as it dries, some of this little bit of VM that's in there, which is very minimal, will fall out. Didn't want to have that fall onto the clean, beautiful fleece. So we'll just set that right there, and we'll check in tomorrow. Alright, I wanted to get this out in the sun so you could see a little better, nice and dry. So this is Layton's fleece. Just kind of the back side, so got a little bit of cleaning of the tips, but generally speaking, really minimal processing, I think. It's really, really white. I'm not sure if that's coming across all the way in the camera or not, but just beautiful. Zoom in a little bit, and just really pleased. I guess the question now is which to process first. Thanks for watching.